Hello everyone, Luke here and welcome back to the channel. So coal, this has been a very important fuel source throughout history, and did you know there was an abundance of it during the Bronze Age, and it was primarily used in the south of Wales, well, for cremations. And of course, if I mention the Industrial Revolution, I guarantee the first fuel source that's going to come to mind is coal. This is a very important source of fuel during this time period. And of course, it hadn't always been like that. There's always been dark periods, no pun intended. But did you know we actually went from coal to wood and then back to coal? So I suppose let's get into it. So during 1500 to 1660, Britain's fuel supply started to fail. So this meant there had to be a lot of readjustment over a prolonged period of time to try and find a suitable fuel source. And of course, like I said, that was taken up by coal. So it seems like even back then, not much actually changes. The reasons for this growing shortage of wood are very various. The consumption of fuel increased, as well as the population density grew and the industry burnt more. And of course, this had all kinds of effects. So I thought that was actually really fascinating. So what actually is coal? Well, coal is a combustible black or brownish sedimentary rock. It has a high amount of carbon and hydrocarbons. Coal is actually classified as a non-renewable energy source because it takes millions of years to form. Coal contains the energy stored by plants that have lived hundreds of millions of years ago in swamps, in forests, and in other places. So what kind of effect did this actually have? So from 1750 to 1850, the Industrial Revolution changed life here in Britain fundamentally. These huge factories were built to produce things such as textiles, iron, and even things like chemicals on an absolute massive scale. So that meant the Industrial Revolution created this massive demand for coal, especially to power new machinery that has just been invented, well, like the steam engine. So in 750, Britain was actually producing around 5.2 million tonnes of coal per year, and by 1850 it was producing around 62.5 million tonnes a year. That's about 10 times greater than the amount of coal mined in 1750 within a time frame of around 100 years. And as the demand for coal actually increased, miners were forced to go deeper underground to find new coal. Deep tunnels were dug where the conditions were dark, hot, cramped and very dangerous. One of the worst explosions took place in Falling. It's near Gateshead in the northeast of England in 1812. This explosion, which happened on the 25th of May 1812, caused the deaths of around 92 miners, which is actually really crazy. And I mean, I could go into the machinery that was being used during the Industrial Revolution, but this has been covered about 1,000,000 times on all kinds of different sites. But Rob has done an awesome video on the domestic effects of coal, and I would 100% recommend going to take a look at that for a bit more information, and I'll make sure to leave the link down in the description. So I thought that was just incredibly interesting, the weird effects that coal had during our time and how much it has been used during different time periods and how much it's actually changed from coal to wood and then back to coal because, well, people initially thought coal was bad and then people thought coal was good. And I just think, again, that is a little bit crazy. But I suppose with that being said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them all. Anyway, guys, I hope you have the most fantastic day and I will see you later.